Hey everyone, I'm here in sunny Nashville, Tennessee at Music City Motor Cars, and I've got the keys to this 2017 Maserati Ghibli. My name is Richard Watto, and today we're going to take a look at this car and see what it's like. The Maserati Ghibli received a lot of flack from automotive journalists when it was first released in 2014, and here's why. Maserati is owned by Fiat Chrysler, so they have access to all of the parts and technologies that Fiat Chrysler has. Now, it's nothing out of the ordinary for car makers who are under the same corporate umbrella to share parts. It saves the car maker money, and they can pass those savings along to consumers. But some people think that Maserati went a little too far. For example, these window switches were taken from a Chrysler. The indicator stock was taken from another Chrysler. And the infotainment system came from a Dodge Challenger. The issue wasn't that automotive journalists thought that the Ghibli was a terrible car, it's just that they didn't think it was worth the $80,000 that Maserati was asking for it. So when you compete with German rivals like BMW and Mercedes, it's important not to skimp on quality. Maserati has heard those concerns, and they have made many changes so that they can compete against the Germans. For example, the infotainment system has been upgraded to a better unit. The car also offers a better ventilation system, a better rear view camera, an optional 360-degree camera, adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, blind spot warning, and collision warning with automatic braking. So now the Maserati Ghibli has the electronic gizmos that it needs to compete against the Germans. But I don't think comparing it to the Germans is the correct way to appreciate this car. This is an Italian sports sedan. It's supposed to be fast, good looking, and fun to drive. And I do think the Ghibli checks those boxes. So the way to appreciate the Ghibli isn't to compare it to the Germans, it's to compare it to its siblings, the more expensive Maserati Quattroporte and the Maserati Gran Turismo. When we look under the hood of this car, it has a twin-turbocharged V6 motor that puts out 405 horsepower. It can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.7 seconds. It costs about $79,700. This is the top-of-the-line Ghibli, the SQ4 with all-wheel drive. Now, if you look at the top-of-the-line Maserati Quattroporte, it costs about $145,000, and it goes from 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. The top-of-the-line Maserati Gran Turismo goes from 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds as well, and that costs $165,000 as a base price. So you can buy a top-of-the-line Ghibli and you'll only sacrifice 0.1 seconds of acceleration to 60 miles per hour. And the thing is, when you're driving down the road, this thing looks like a Maserati. It looks like a combination of the Maserati Quattroporte and the Maserati Gran Turismo. The front end has that aggressive Gran Turismo look, and the side profile looks like a shortened Quattroporte. And that's the point of this car. You get to drive a Maserati that's almost as fast and as good looking as the Maserati Quattroporte and the Maserati Gran Turismo, but you can drive a car that's $85,000 or $65,000 cheaper. I am enjoying the heck out of driving this car. It has a wonderful suspension. I think it's a double wishbone up front and a 5-link multi-link suspension in the rear. You can also get one of these with Maserati's Skyhook suspension system, which has active damping, so it constantly checks road surfaces and adjusts response rates based on the type of road that you are driving on, so that's pretty cool. The engine sounds phenomenal. So in its normal driving mode, okay, you can hit the gas, and here, I'll show you. I'm gonna slow it down to 30 miles an hour, okay? No one behind me, no one ahead of me. I'm gonna hit the gas. Just took it up to 45. You heard that kind of growl there. Now I'm just going to put it into sport mode. And immediately, it sharpens the throttle response and it changes the noise of the car. So here, I'm going to slow it down to 30 miles an hour. Listen to how amazing that sounds. It's that very Italian growl, and it continues to growl for no reason. In sport mode, it'll just make noises just to make the driving experience more interesting. I really like driving this car. It's very nice. As far as the interior goes, I think this is nicely appointed. I honestly don't mind the window switches or the turn signal stock. My hand has accidentally hit the F1 paddle shift when I've gone to turn on the turn signal, but I think that just takes some getting used to. I also don't mind the shifter. I don't think it's finicky at all, or maybe it again takes some getting used to. As far as the seats go, some people have complained that they're a little bit too firm, but I personally think that they're fine. I think it's more a matter of preference. It's like a bicycle saddle. For a long ride, you actually want a more firm saddle than something that's really cushy that you can sink into. And I think maybe that's what Maserati was trying to do with this car. They were trying to strike a balance between luxuriousness and sportiness, and they angled on the side of sportiness, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think it's more of a matter of preference. It is nice and quiet in here. The only thing you can hear is the exhaust note from that 3-liter turbocharged motor, which is very nice. So I think this is a great car to drive. Oof. You can really get yourself into trouble with one of these, but you don't even have to speed to enjoy it because it makes those growling noises. I'm going 38 miles an hour. Ooh, I like that noise. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is nice. And I could keep going on and on about the noise. The whooshing from the turbos combined with the snarling of the exhaust make for an exhilarating driving experience. I don't care who makes the window switches, but I do care who makes the important things. The Ghibli's motor is engineered by Maserati and built by Ferrari. The Ghibli may not be on the cutting edge when it comes to electronic gizmos, but electronic gadgets were never of the utmost importance to Maserati. The carmaker has always been focused on preserving a traditional driving experience that is unique to Maserati. This is a driver's car. Listen to its idle with its deep, throaty exhaust note. The Ghibli sounds like a snow leopard purring. The front end of the Ghibli has a cat-like scowl and an aggressive, almost sinister look. Its quad-tipped exhaust pipes let other motorists know that this car means business, while its elevated tail lamps provide an interesting contrast to the Ghibli's low front end. Of course, in typical boastful Maserati fashion, the Ghibli also has 3 vents on each front fender. The large wheels, red brake calipers, and chrome door handles add to the boastful styling of the vehicle. The trend of exuberance continues in the interior. My test car had red leather seats, a red dashboard, and red door panels, as well as chrome accents around the gauge cluster. Wood trim and an analog clock added a touch of luxury to the otherwise sporty and aggressive interior. The interior of the Ghibli was similar to the more expensive Maserati Quattroporte, and I found it comfortable and well appointed. Of course, the Ghibli's pièce de résistance is its twin turbocharged 3-liter V6 engine. Engineered by Maserati and built by Ferrari, it puts out 404 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. That power is transferred to the wheels through an 8-speed automatic transmission made by a German company called ZF. So I think the Maserati Ghibli is a really cool car, and what it lacks in bespoke parts and electronic gizmos, I think it more than makes up for in the way it looks, the way it drives, and just how much fun it is. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and a special thank you to Music City Motor Cars in Nashville, Tennessee, and Maserati of Nashville for lending me this beautiful car. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, and of course, if you have an exciting or exotic automobile that you'd like me to test drive, please reach out to me at wattooauto@gmail.com.